Hello and welcome back. It's episode 3, Field Talk. We have Al on the bottom, Field Talk just in the right corner, left corner of your screen. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about the U.S. men's national team. Are they a disaster? Do we have hope? World Cup, maybe? We don't know. Welcome if you're here. If you're watching this later, welcome to you. Hope you enjoy. Let's get it going. So,
All right.
we had a nice, beautiful international break. Well, if you follow other countries.
Yeah.
Right. The U.S. men's national team, it was a disaster. And the last game against Uruguay, I don't really take with a positive. Yes, it was 1-1, but I don't know. I think Uruguay was like a under 21 in the starting 11.
The C squad at that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No Luis Suarez. I think Jose Maria Jimenez from Atletico Madrid was playing.
Yes. No Cavani.
They have Muslera, but their main midfield and attacking force wasn't really there. So the U.S. was able to look better than they did against Mexico, or they would have against the A squad. I guess we'll start with the Mexico game. It was very sad, very time wasting in my life.
Yeah.
I went before the game started. I was like, okay, we can probably win this if we grow some balls. But compared to what happened in the Gold Cup final, and they didn't show up, period. What is your take on what happened in that game, Sal?
So the whole point of these games, these friendlies against Mexico, is just to. Am I getting feedback from myself?
Here you good.
Yeah. All right. So the whole USA should beat Mexico every time. That's the way it should be. It's our main rival. Let's go. All full force. I don't care what other country we play afterwards. Put out your A team, whatever that's going to be. The starting lineup was we had Zach Steffen at keeper, Reggie Cannon, Walker Zimmerman. We had Aaron Long, Sergio Dest, Weston McKennie, Will Trapp, Alfredo Morales, Tyler Boyd, Jossie, and Christian.
Yep.
I know two of those guys.
That does not, to me, that's not an A lineup wherever you go. That lineup will not get you. Zach had his problems, but still he is the number one keeper for this country. We don't have any other keeper that's going to come close to him. Maybe Brad Guzan, but at that, how long is Brad actually going to be around for now? Not that much longer. Walker, I don't trust Walker at center back. We need another center back, but the U.S. is known for its goalkeepers and its defenders. Did our defenders and our goalkeeper show up that night? No, I think it was just one of those off nights. Look back at the Gold Cup. We lost how much? 2-0, right?
I believe it ended up being 2-0. Yes.
2-0, right? And we had gone into it without, who was it who we went out with? We didn't have...
Tyler Boyd, I believe, didn't play now.
Yeah, we didn't have Tyler Boyd, and then we didn't have, who's the one player I'm thinking about from Germany? Sargent, yeah, we didn't have Sargent. Sargent was here with us during the break.
Yeah.
Sargent should have started. That's my opinion on it. He should have started. Because of him, we did get that penalty that was ultimately missed. I don't think he should have taken the penalty. That should have been Christian's job to take the penalty. I have my issues with the whole playing out of the back, first of all, because you're not going to get that with the time that Greg has to coach the team. He's not going to be able to run the team like he ran it in Columbus. He just had more time. He had the right players. And that's the thing, time. How long are these players in training camp for? Some of them maybe a week, 2 weeks at most. You're not going to run it. I know he loves Jossie, but Jossie's not made for this team. And whether that's his love because he helped bring him back into form with Columbus,
maybe.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
I just don't see it. But Mexico just demolished, and they showed why their A squad is better. Not even our A squad, not even the A squad. Who
Even their A squad. That was a young team. That was a
yeah,
young team.
who was subbed in? Chucky got subbed in, right?
And I think he came in. He came in a lot later than I thought he would come on.
Yeah,
He did.
You can just imagine what would have happened if Chucky was starting the game at that point. Could we have seen 6-0, 7-0, 8-0? I mean, how many chances did Mexico actually miss in that game?
A ton. Yeah, the Teca Tito, or I can't remember his name, but I was yeah, he missed about 3 good opportunities.
Exactly, and you're just, I just, the team. But where's the team at? How many players do we actually have that we can fill in at any point? Christian is going to be there all the time. Josh Sargent is going to be there all the time. We're going to have, of course, Stephen, McKinney. To me, I mean, yeah, this is my Galaxy side showing, but I think Sebastian should be starting all the time. I don't think anyone else should start in the midfield. What else do we have?
I do feel like Jordan Morris needs to start as well.
Yeah.
Jordan Morris, he showed what he's about when we played Uruguay. Why I didn't see him in this game? Well, we did see him in this game, but I feel like it was a little bit too late at that point.
60th minute, yeah.
Yeah, and they already had ran away with the game. What you brought up earlier, yes, our playing from the back is horrendous. I don't understand why we continuously do it. Stefan was putting the defenders in bad positions. He's good technically with the ball at his feet. I see that, but he should probably sometimes more just hit the long ball and hope for the best, because he gave him a ton of opportunities. And then you said you don't like Zimmerman.
No.
Okay, I don't like Long. I think Long is pathetic. Like, his haircut is horrible. His is horrible.
No, not his haircut.
It just wasn't working out, and we need to figure out something to replace those, because those 2 players. Because if Stefan wants to play that way, or if that's Greg's way of playing, we need better center backs that can actually move the ball better and quickly out of the back the way that he wants to do it.
My thing is, Stefan was in Columbus. He knows Greg's system. He should be familiar with it 100%. But it just failed him that night. Whether it's just one of those off nights where he was just not feeling it. Hey, maybe it's coming in from Germany when he came in and he's still feeling fatigue, whatever it is. But that should just not have happened.
I don't know, man. Like, in my eyes, it's like I don't know if I necessarily see a plan. Like, I don't know what is our style of play. Like, how do we? You know what I'm saying? You said the goalkeepers and the defenders. That's normally what I remember. But I mean, it's like a tale of 2 opposites. Like Mexico, you can see like they have an obvious plan of how they're going to play and how they're going to integrate new players as, you know, old ones phase out. And it was just embarrassing, man. Like, I really don't have too much to say. Like, it was just embarrassing. Like, like I just couldn't, like, that 3rd goal, like I could have walked out there and you know what I'm saying? I could have did something. You know what I mean? Like, it was that pathetic. Like, and it just, like, it didn't seem like they were too bothered about it, man. And for me, my whole thing is, like, what's the plan? Like, what is the plan for U.S. soccer? Like, where are we going? Because Mexico, if Mexico keeps rolling like that, we're not going to be having any joy against them for a long time. And for me, I just don't see the plan. I don't see the quality. Maybe I'm just too spoiled off European soccer and Giants and all that stuff to see that. But I don't even see any, like, I just don't see any type of cohesion. I don't know what's the style of play. I don't know what to expect from the men's national team anymore. You know, Pulisic's going to be a star, but he's 20. You can't rely on, a whole nation can't rely on him. You know what I'm saying? He's the future. But, you know, you got to take the pressure off the kid. I mean, I don't know. What's the plan? Do you see a plan, Sal?
I don't think there is a plan. They took how long to hire Greg, first of all.
Right.
All those months that they took Bruce basically said, "I'm done," after the shambles of Trinidad and Tobago. I was just where are we going forward? I don't see it now. What did Greg say after what in the interview? He said that he saw more positives out of this game than he did out of the Gold Cup.
And that's the problem right there. I don't.
Yeah, he's blind or something.
I mean, I'll say this: Klinsmann, when he was here, at least there was a plan.
Yes,
there was something going on. But Klinsmann's problem was, hey, where are the young kids starting at? Why is it always the old ones? And I understand the whole, okay, you left Landon Donovan off 2014. But really, still being a fan myself of Landon, was he really going to make that much of a difference in 2014?
Well, listen, man. I was telling Mario before the show that for me, the last game that I watched the U.S. men's team play that I actually gave a damn about, that I really felt like we had a chance, was in 2014 against Belgium. You know what I mean? And that's the last time I remember. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the last time I was excited was then. That looked like we had a plan, because Klinsmann, you know, for all his faults, he had a plan. He wanted the young kids to be playing with quality as well to help their development, which makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? Parity is key. Like, you know, if it's working, let's do it too. But like, I just don't. I think Donovan could have made a difference if Wondolowski's on that set piece. I mean, if Donovan's on that set piece other than Wondolowski, I don't know. But we're not going to get into that. I just want to know, what do you think, Mario? Is there a plan? Is there a plan going forward?
Well, I was going into the game with a lot of hope. And so what I did was I picked 3 players that I wanted to take a look at as the game progressed. I picked Serginho, I picked Zach Steffen, because there's a lot of talk going on about him, and he's the guy that we got to trust in between the sticks for the foreseeable future. And then I picked Zardes because he kept getting a call back. He's always getting called up. So I'm like, okay, like you're always going to show us something then, you know, like, and you got to start. Well, I rated Serginho 4. I didn't really like what I saw. He improved a little bit against Uruguay, but like we said earlier, it was a much easier opponent. It wasn't the strong Uruguay. I didn't like how he gave up on that first goal. He gets megged and he doesn't try to do anything. He just watched the play proceed. And
he got obliterated.
He basically, like, he felt embarrassed.
Right.
He just stopped playing, and that's not something you do, you know what I'm saying? Especially in that kind of a game. Like, you don't just let the guy who walks into the box and continue making that run and that pass, and then ultimately a goal. So I didn't like that. And then his passing out the back was not great. He got rushed a lot because the high press that Mexico was playing for what it seemed like the whole 90 minutes was just absolutely insane. And so I liked the Cannon a lot more. I felt like he was kind of like a young Michael Beasley.
That's your boy.
Yeah. And then I felt like he was like a Beasley, but I don't see him starting all the time because we do have Yedlin. So there's that. Zach Steffen, I already covered it. His passing out the back was not smart at a lot of times. It cost us a lot of turnovers in the final third and right in front of our goal, which led to a lot of opportunities to Mexico. They kind of kept us in the game by missing them, and we didn't do anything about it. And Zardes, I gave him a 4 as well because I just didn't see anything. It was just his attacking positioning was just, I don't know, not there. He's not like.
Is he good enough to start games for US?
I feel like as a striker, no. Find him a different position, maybe off the wing or something. I don't know. He has the speed. He just doesn't have the stature, I guess. You know, what like you would think of your 9. Mm-hmm. I like what I see when I watch him play MLS, but then he just doesn't bring that same intensity when he plays for the national team. So it just was. I don't know. It was disappointing. I did like Morales. I started looking at other players after I just realized that the players I picked was just, boring. And Morales was cool. Like, he was a hothead, but I liked it. Like, it brought something to the game. It was like he looked like the only one that cared about
right.
what this game was.
Yeah, which you know what I mean, and that's good to see. You know,
Yeah.
like, you want them to have heart out there. Like, don't go down without swinging.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be, defending that midfield there. Yeah. And he was about the only one that I realized that was there in the midfield. Like, if it was something going on in midfield, it was him. Even if it was a crazy tackle or a fight or something, it was always Morales. Never saw him before, and it was just like, hey, who is this kid? It's just, we had the possession. We had more passes. We just didn't have any shots. We had only one corner the whole game. So if you're not making any attacks, at least get set pieces. Make some fouls happen. Make the ball, give yourself more corners, more opportunities to score a different way. And they weren't doing any of that because the high press that Mexico was giving us didn't allow us to even start anything. And then what I didn't like is sitting back from Mexico and watching them pass around, and here you are just trotting around, going back and forth, and then 2 passes later, boom, they're in.
We also got out-coached in that game.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Tata Martino is,
exactly. Martino is he does what he does, and there's a gap in coach quality as well. So,
and then the thing is, you wait to the 60th minute to do changes, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's the common answer, and I don't know.
But
Jordan Moore, I want to see him more, but we don't. I don't know. Sorry, Sal. You can
those changes were the bet. Those subs should have been probably starters for that game.
Yeah.
They should have been the starters, and the starters that got substituted should have been who comes on at the 60th minute, 65th, 70th minute. Same thing with Zardes. I'll say he's not good to start a game, maybe to finish a game when you need something quick.
Yeah.
And you've tired out your opponent. But I'll defend Altidore in this, that he has a body. He can at least push his way in there and get goals.
Yeah, he's done it on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
As well.
Do we have anyone else that can really do that?
No, not that I can think of. No. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we want to play out the back, but if you have somebody like Josie Altidore in the game and that's not working for you, then your next best bet is to launch the ball forward, and he'll have an opportunity to bring it down or get it to another player on the wing, or get it to Pulisic or whoever's in the midfield there, and we can start some type of an attack and get that pressure off of us. Yeah. But playing out the back, and especially the way Mexico did the same thing they basically did in the Gold Cup final, I feel like. Just high pressure, make a lot of turnovers. Yeah. And it's crazy to me that we had 81% pass accuracy, because most of the passes that I was seeing, especially on breaks, it was behind, or it was too forward, or it was out of bounds. And switching the play of the game was like, they were just like, oh yeah, just give Mexico a throw in. Like, it was just like, what's going on? And then I see 81%, and I'm just like, that's a joke. Like, it didn't seem like it at all.
And that kind of like is kind of what I want to segue into now that you said, that type of stuff. And that's like, those type of things are like common when I watch them play. So I kind of just want to ask both of you guys, like, and Sal, you could kind of answer first if you want, but like, are we even good enough? You know what I mean? As a country,
I'm looking at the FIFA World Rankings, and we're ranked 22nd in the world. 22nd in the fucking world, really. I mean, that's got to be a joke. I mean, who the hell is watching these games anyway?
I don't see how it's possible.
We should be ranked somewhere down 50, 60, somewhere down below.
And that's disgraceful, man.
It is
exactly where we should be, 60.
I mean, we went up 8 points after that win against Uruguay. After that tie with Uruguay, I should say. That we didn't even play their best squad, and even I'll say we had an advantage playing on a baseball field. Those guys, I bet you, have never even played on a damn baseball field. And if you've been to a game that's played on a baseball field, New York City FC, it is so compact, and your field of vision is, you're just like, oh fuck, there's the baseball mound. Oh shit, right, we're playing on the outfield. Oh wait, if I step here, the grass is gonna come up, because it's not really grass, it's fucking turf that's just being laid out.
So we basically had an advantage and still couldn't win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But
No.
that's one of the things I hate about the way that the US schedules these games. Okay, we played the first one in MetLife. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You can easily convert a football field into
Right.
a soccer pitch.
Right.
But then you have us playing in St. Louis on a baseball field. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying a ticket to that game because as a fan that likes to watch the game, like if I have the opportunity to go watch it live, I'm going to watch it.
Right.
And I don't want to sit way back because my front row seat is, I don't know how many yards away from the actual pitch, and it's just kind of like I was looking at these fans in front row. I'm like, are you satisfied? I was like, this is horrible. I was like, we have so many MLS teams with actual stadiums, but we don't try to work around like the schedules of the MLS and be like, hey, can we use your pitch? Hey, can we do this? So it's like, oh, let's do a baseball stadium. It doesn't make any sense to me.
St. Louis is a soccer town. They are a place where soccer is born and bred. So many players have come out of St. Louis in the past. Why can't you just find some pitch, even if it's a college stadium? Doesn't matter how many people. You're supposed to think, how many of our fans can we pack into the stadium in order to get the loudest atmosphere to get our guys going?
Yeah.
All right, we'll never outnumber Mexican fans because, first of all, they come out in droves more than U.S. fans come out.
Always.
Another thing.
But can we at least go into an MLS stadium, pack in the best number of USA fans, especially for the men's national team, pack in the most number of fans so that their fans have a less presence, and then we get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look at the men's and the women's side. Women's side is growing. Women's side can pack a stadium.
They're actually good.
Yeah. But it shouldn't matter who's good and who's bad. We should be supporting them no matter through thick and thin.
I believe that 100%.
But that's what I'm saying. You have the what are they called? The American Outlaws?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have them, and then when you see them, they're miles away because they weren't that far, I guess, in the Uruguay game, but it felt like it because the seating arrangements is so weird. Like if you have it in an MLS pitch, they're right there, boom, smack down, right behind the goal, causing the ruckus that we would like to see, and they get they're the ones that's supposed to get the fans more into the game. They didn't have that any type of effect like that in the Uruguay game because everybody else is way away, and it's just they need to stop doing that. Period.
Well, it just doesn't seem like it's a priority. You know what I mean? You can easily set up seating arrangements to benefit the teams that play there when we play. It just doesn't seem like it's because these are simple things that I think could be rectified, and there's no it continues to be like that. But and again, I just come back to the question about are we good enough as a country? Do you think, because I've heard this argument, do you think it's because not enough of our athletes play the game, Mario? They play other sports, or?
I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to say if you want to have the best team, start the same 11 all the time so you can find some type of chemistry with the players. Put your best players out all the time, even if it's a friendly. And I know it's hard because the MLS schedule is a lot different than the European one. So when you have this certain players coming from Germany, it could be total different thing. Like sometimes MLS, I believe, is off season when we're playing in certain.
Yeah.
And then but like we said, put Sargent out there, put Pulisic. Like you said, Pulisic can do it in his own. Get Morris out there. Get Sebastian. Get Stefan what he needs to be better. You know what I'm saying? Not put Long out there and Zimmerman. It's just dude, you're not giving us anything. And then you want to it's too much fiddling around, picking different players, different lineups, different this. It's if we know who our best players are. At least the real good following that the US has, they know, and they even can name you a couple that don't even get called up. Where's Weah at? We should be calling him up. Get him into the fold. I know he was injured, so I can't really comment, but previously we should have Weah. He should be getting up in there. He plays overseas. He can bring a little bit of flair. His dad's a legend, and it continues. It's just put the best players we have, pick a formation, stick with it, And I don't know. That's how I feel like we're gonna get better, and that's how we're gonna see if our best players can compete with these teams that we end up playing, like Mexico. Mexico is the hardest team we're gonna play, like in the CONCACAF. Period.
Yeah.
It doesn't get, and it's been getting overly saturated playing Mexico over again.
Too much.
And it's just we still can't beat them. And it's like you get all these opportunities and you don't get barely one win, or you get a tie, or it's just like I don't like a tie against Mexico. I want to beat Mexico because they have our number that much already.
Exactly.
I like to play Uruguay when Uruguay is full. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Put the lineups that we have. I would like to play Belgium and Portugal and all these other teams. Even Portugal's B team will be a good game for us.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just that's what we need to do to see where we're at and go from there.
I'll put it this way: I'll read you a list right now with all the players we have. So goalkeepers, we have Stefan, we have Bill Hamid, Sean Johnson, Guzan. So out of those four, who do we really start? It's like going to be Stefan all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and Hamid and Johnson, then keep them just in case we do need those backups. And that's that. For left back, we have Dest, Robinson, Lima, Herrera, and Garza. Who do you keep to be your starter?
I don't know. I kind of like Garza, but I feel like Dest could be good. He just needs to show me a little bit more.
Right back, you have Yedlin, Cannon, Lima. Who do you keep?
Yedlin and Cannon.
Cannon.
Center back, Brooks, Miazga. I think that should be them right there, starting center back.
Yeah, Brooks has to play.
And then after that, Zimmerman, Long, Opara, Robinson, Ream, Carter Vickers.
None of them.
None of them really, yeah.
So
Ream was there, and then I don't know what happened to him.
I mean, he probably. I mean, like everyone has their slumps, and that's the thing. When you get into a slump, and I understand if you're an athlete, they're gonna come. You're not gonna be 100% all the time. Yeah. Can he come back to being on that squad? He can, but we're kind of right now winding down who should be our 11 at this point. Yeah. Central defending midfielders: Adams and Bradley. Who are you gonna get?
Just keep Bradley away from the team at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the most overrated player I've ever seen.
I don't know. Personally, I like Bradley. But
I think he's okay. I mean, we'll disagree on that, bro. I need a whole nother hour to talk about Bradley.
So for center midfield, we have McKinney, Leggett, Nagme, Palmco, Roldan. I think all of those are great. I don't think we have a problem there
at all.
For the left, we have Pulisic, Morris. I think we're good there.
We're good there.
Perfect.
On the right, we have Boyd, Areola. I like Areola.
Boyd is, I don't know. He's a lot of hype, and he hasn't.
I want it for him though. I feel like he can. You know what I mean? Like he has the ability. It's just not. I don't know.
Then we have Baird and Weah. So we do have something there at least. And then for the strikers, Altidore, Sargent, Weah can be there. And I'm not even going to add Jossie because that's we already know what we feel about Jossie. Yeah. But we have a decent starting 11. But like you said, Mario, we're not playing the damn 11 all the time. And that's on our coach. Yeah. That's on everyone else who's running the U.S. national team, not telling him, why aren't you starting these same 11 players? I get it. You're not going to have them all the time. But once we get into qualifiers were changed just for us not getting fucked again and missing a World Cup.
Right.
We shouldn't miss the World Cup again. But if we do,
and that's what I'm saying, though. It comes from the top. Like you just said, we shouldn't be missing the World Cup. We shouldn't not be able to get a draw against Trinidad Tobago. I don't care if we're playing on a tennis court. You know what I mean? How can we not get, and it starts from the top. Like it has to be a priority to get us going on track. I want to go over, I did a little bit of research for you guys out here, and I want to just talk about something like this. Did you know that we had football, soccer? We had it here in the country before Brazil. We were playing soccer here. Soccer came here. They were playing soccer in Boston in 1868, just playing it, no rules. they're just out there having a kick about. You know what I mean? If you do the research, 1920 is basically the golden era of American soccer. The American Soccer League was created in like 1921, so that we had a league that could be compared to leagues out there in Europe and everything like that. You know what I mean? And then we had to run in 1930, 1950 we were good, and then it's a huge drop off until about 2004. So my thing is, we had this shit before one of the greatest nations of all time. Brazil has the most World Cups of anybody, and we've produced some of the best athletes in the world, I would say. I mean, so you would think that at some point over 100 years, we would have been able to figure out how to dominate this thing and have a way about ourselves and play. So my thing is, how far do you guys think we are away from playing, competing against the best?
Well, you say that we started it first, and okay, that's great, and it's
we had it before somebody.
No, but it's a cool anecdote to have, like a weird thing in our history to be like, like we started going like way before you guys, but you guys are totally more dominant. You got to think about it. What does Brazil have besides football? They don't have baseball. They don't have basketball. They don't have the NFL. They don't have the NHL. We have all these sports that are available to us, and most of the kids want to choose, the NFL and basketball and all that stuff. So we make athletes because we see it in the world, in the Olympics. We do have athletes that come out of this country left and right. The thing is, a lot of them don't want to choose football or soccer. And then so if the ones that do, our soccer system is so trash that they don't even get anywhere because there's so many diamonds in the dirt that we will never find because there's no way for them to get up. And it's like we have college, but then you have to get drafted in this mega draft lottery thing that I still to this day don't agree with. But
so you think it's not that the athletes don't want to play soccer, it's a systemic thing that kind of don't even give them the avenue to really want to pursue soccer?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say there's so many other things to choose, and then once they realize that they like hit a wall, that it's just like, boom, it's like close it. Because at least when I was playing in my younger days, you have high school, and that's like your main way to get a scholarship to college, and then you can play club soccer, and if you have a big club that gets into the big tournaments and all that stuff, then yeah, you have more chances of being seen and picked out the bunch. And then you got to make it to the US trials, and then you got to get through that, and that's a whole different story too. Like I feel like that's more political, like money wise. Like once you get to those US trials, it's like, do you have the money to continue going into the next rounds? And then that's where you lose most of your talent.
I'll carry off that. It's the whole pay to play system.
Yeah,
that's it. Most of these countries that we see big players come out of, why? Because it's free. You're just picking up a ball and you're playing. No. If I'm a parent and my kid wants to play and AYSO is charging me $3,000 for my child to, be on the team, I'm going to say, why am I paying $3,000 when I can put them in basketball and it's going to run me $40, $60 maybe?
Yeah.
Soccer is probably one of the cheapest sports you can get. You can buy soccer boots cheap, a uniform cheap. It's not like basketball where, oh, hey, I need some Nike Hyper Dunks. They're going to run me $120, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need the best soccer boots to play the game. All you need is a pair, and then you go out there. But again, it's the whole pay-to-play system. Yeah. We don't have this system where, okay, this place is offering soccer for cheap, and it's going to offer travel soccer so that the kids can go all around and play and get better. And then our coaching system as well. Go through US soccer. How many levels of coaching is there? From an E license all the way to an A license. But the A license is split up into 2 licenses. And you still have to pay for that as well if you want to coach and get into the higher positions. It's all money at this point that I just see, why don't we just cut it so that kids can play more. And you see kids want to play.
Mm-hmm.
I work at a park and I see kids that play.
Right.
But the second the parents come and they're like, okay, how much do you charge? Well, $10 to get your kid going. Fine, great. But I see parents that don't show up. At that point, I'm not blaming the kids. I'm blaming the parents. So it goes in a lot of ways. The parents have to be involved, and the financial situation has to somehow change in this.
I agree. Yeah, because for me it was like $750 for the season. That's including jersey and whatnot. And then after that, you got to pay the refs. Then you got to travel. So your parents are paying gas. Your parents are gonna probably pay lodging. Then they're gonna pay, food, and it just ends up being the huge tab. And then so like your parents literally have to like sit you down every year and be like, do you want to play? And then they have to mentally prepare and then financially prepare to continue with another year. And that's why a lot of kids go for the free soccer, which is school, high school. You play the season and then you do your best and you try to get a scholarship. It could be a D2 school even at that. And they still even get pretty good players out there. But like to pay $1,000 for a season and then go to some tournament in Washington for like another $700 or $500 to $700, it starts getting ludicrous, and the players lose interest because their parents are putting all that pressure on them. Like, look, we have to pay all this money,
Right.
And is it worth it at the end of the day?
Stabilizes everything. So,
Yeah. And then other clubs are like, oh, this is the A team, this is the B team, this is the C team, and so like now your players, you're categorizing your players like, oh, you're not better than the B team, and you're not better than the A team, so you have this kind of schedule, and they'll have this kind of schedule. So now you're giving certain players a better opportunity, and the other players are just like, oh, you play, some little other small club that we can get a game with and whatnot, and that's your season, and it's just kind of like you might have a better, like one good kid on that C team that can probably be a lot better than one of the kids in the A team, but you decided he was a C player, and so now he's gone. Like you missed out on that talent, and that's another thing. A lot of players you'll see are like, yo, I'm out of this club. I'm going to a smaller club because I'm actually gonna get more I guess prospects and of doing this and that, and you pay less, and some of them actually make it big. So
the problem is not enough of them make it big.
That's another thing.
So what do you think, Sal? Are we 20, 30 years away? I mean, how are we?
This team is too young. I think average age is 22, between 22 and 24 years of age for the basically majority of them. Mm-hmm. Do I think we make it to the World Cup? Yes, because CONCACAF has rigged the system so easily for the U.S. to make it.
Well, they'll pay money for that, but they won't pay money to develop.
So. We'll make it to Qatar. The majority of our players that are playing in MLS are going to be coming off the season. So they'll be set and ready to go for that. So we have an advantage at that. All the European clubs, since it's going to be in the winter, will be in that kind of mid-season form. So can I see us advancing? Maybe, but I see more that we get in, we get knocked out. We basically get third in a group stage. They come home. By the time the next World Cup hits, which will be here in North America, look, the boys will be ready. They'll be men at that point. They'll be more, at least, knowledgeable in the world game at that. My problem is there leadership in that club? Who is a vocal leader? Who's going to be in there saying, hey, you fucked up today, or hey, do better? Because I don't see Pulisic being that vocal leader in that club. He's very quiet, and I think he's going to stay quiet. One of those, just follow me as a quiet leader. There has to be someone in there who's going to basically put pressure on the rest of the club to say, hey, do better. But who?
Who and when? That's
exactly
a good question.
My other question is, does Greg actually last up to that point? Because if he can make it to a World Cup and then they get knocked out of a group stage, I mean, not even knocked out, but they just don't advance out of group stages, there's going to be blood. And first person out is Greg. Then Now he got to start all over again. And where do we go from there?
You call back Jurgen.
I don't even think he'd come back if.
Nah, he probably won't.
Trouble.
Yeah, because just to basically top it off, like we didn't really go too much over the Uruguay game, but we all know it was just a given game. Like we should have probably won. We should have at least won 2-1. We did have the possession. We had more shots. It was in Uruguay that we know, that we saw in the Copa America, that we've seen in the World Cup. It wasn't that team. So I'd take the 1-1 draw, but I wouldn't take it. I'd take it with a grain of salt, I guess you could say. Yeah. And then like Sal was saying, the CONCACAF is rigged. Our next 4 games on October 11th against Cuba. We all know how that goes. We're going to look amazing. People are going to get excited. And those are the people that don't know anything about what's going on.
Of course.
And then we play Canada, which I would have to say Canada does have prospects. They do have good players.
Yeah.
But we should be beating them. Like, no, hands down. Like, there's, and then again,
that's a big one.
And that's October 15th. So that's the next international break that we have. And then we have another international break in November, and that's again Canada and then Cuba. So, and that's CONCACAF Nations League.
But here's the thing I'll add. Can this team travel? Can they go to Trinidad and Tobago again? Can they go somewhere where there's basically a hole in the wall? You know, like this field is out in a excuse my language, but this field is out in a cow pasture. Can these boys perform in that without saying, "Oh, it's the field, it's the environment"?
Can they not?
That's where it's at right there.
Yeah, but if they play on a makeshift baseball field, I'm sure they can play in a cow pasture.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be able to get it done. You're representing your country. You could get it.
So, like Sal said, yes, I hope we get to the World Cup. I think we should make it to a World Cup. 3rd place in the group is ideal from what we've been seeing of this team as of late.
Right. Yeah. So real.
But then again, they can surprise us. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything's possible. On paper, we look the worst by far. Like, of the teams you can on your hand right now say that are going to the next World Cup, we're probably like way at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's paper. Like, if we get out and we actually play the way that we should be playing, and we play the players that we should be playing or starting, then maybe we do have a chance. I really truly hope that Stefan ends up being the next Howard, because trust me, we need it, especially with the firepower that comes from other countries, especially South America and Europe. There's a lot of good attacking players in those countries. And it's just, get Long out of there, get Zardes out of there. I don't know. It's just, I have hope, but it's at the moment hanging on it by a thread. So I leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and for everybody watching, just know that we definitely want U.S. soccer to be great. We want to compete. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not just a negative train, but sometimes you got to call things like you see it. So.
Like you see it, yeah.
We're not going to show the roses for this team. We're going to lay it out as it is.
I believe.
And that was the fun part about it all. That chanting. I got a day off of work for the World Cup.
Yeah, watching the World Cup at the office. I mean, those were the days, man. We want that back. We definitely believe, but I feel like we're a long way out. Hopefully in the future we see some kind of upward trajectory, I would say.
Hopefully we see a star in our damn kit. That'd be great.
That would be great. In my lifetime, I'd like to see that.
Not the ones that are actually in the badge.
Yeah.
You mean the ones I have?
Yeah.
50 stars.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, if we ever won the World Cup, I'd probably freaking cry.
I would too, because
the country would burn, man.
We could get crazy. So it's not like just one little small country. We have like this big old thing on the map.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Wouldn't that be something, man?
So yeah. I don't know. I look forward to, well, I can't really say I look forward to Cuba and Canada, but I look forward to whatever's after that.
Right.
And a good run.
Yep.
At least in the qualifiers, because I believe it's based on ranking.
Yeah, it is based on ranking.
So we have the ranking, of course. So we're in. to the hexagon or whatever the heck it's called, octagon. It might as well be. And then so we're into that already. Now it's just are we gonna lose to like El Salvador or are we gonna beat them? You know. So
Who knows? The big toss-up.
I mean, if we lose to Panama, which is Common Bowl's worst team, that really should place us down from fucking table. But
yeah,
I believe.
Yeah,
I don't want to let Panama take
Yeah.
the one of the spots in the CONCACAF like they did last time.
Right.
I can't. That was boring to watch in the World Cup. Sorry to Panama, but you weren't gonna go nowhere. But anyways, it was another good show.
yes.
The U.S. is hanging on by a thread, like I said earlier, and we all hope, and to whoever watches this, I hope that you hope, because we need all the true American fans to,
Definitely
talk all the crap you can about the bad players on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever it takes to get the federation to realize that we have the players and we need to put them together. But I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks, Sal and Justin, for, again, continuing. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Premier League recap from this past weekend. We finally
content.
We finally had the Premier League back since after that horrible international break for us. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, we will all be closely watching the first group stage games of the Champions League. And we'll have that out for you guys on Thursday. So, yeah, we look forward to it. It's going to be a busy week. I believe this is when we actually all get busy. So it's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be action-packed. I don't know. I wanted to say something else, but I totally
leave it.
But yeah, I hope you guys have a good night or a good morning.
Outside Talk Soccer, FieldTalk _Benzie, FieldTalk Pod. We coming.
Yep. We are coming. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe, click the bell. I'm getting off of other YouTubers, so hopefully it works. All right, guys. Take it easy. Good night. Good morning.
Later.
Peace.